We left Braga in the morning. Baroque churches fading behind us, granite facades glowing in early light. And yes, we rented a car. Correction, Joe rented a car. He chose a VW Multivan because apparently we are either transporting a touring orchestra or preparing for an extremely spacious emotional evolution.
It's practical, as in room for luggage, camera gear, backup camera gear, snacks, 3 jackets for altitude variability, and enough legroom to reconsider my life choices in absolute comfort. I call it flexibility. Some people call it over-prepared. Those people have never needed a second charging cable at 2,000 meters.
It's enormous. But I will admit, gliding south through northern Portugal in a high-seated van with panoramic windows does feel mildly presidential. The drive from Braga to Porto takes about 45 minutes. A3 toward the coast, green hills, vineyards, industrial edges beginning to appear. And then the Douro opens. Terracotta rooftops stack downward toward the river, and cutting through it all, iron. The Dom Luís I Bridge doesn't appear politely. It asserts itself. We crossed into Vila Nova de Gaia and pulled up to Vinci Ponte de Ferro, positioned perfectly beside the bridge, glass and steel reflecting river light, industrial lines softened by design precision. When your hotel sits directly beneath one of Europe's most iconic iron bridges, that's not a coincidence, that's commitment. Joe opened the balcony doors, looked at the bridge glowing above us and said,
"We're staying inside infrastructure."
Yes, and it's fabulous. Porto doesn't sparkle, it hums. Rivets, rust, porcelain, Atlantic air. This city trusts structure more than sentiment. Feelings are optional, foundations are not, and honestly, I deeply admire a place that chooses load-bearing walls over mood swings. First thing you do in Porto? You walk the bridge. Upper deck. No hesitation. Completed in 1886, designed by a student of Gustave Eiffel, the Dom Luís I looks like the Eiffel Tower stretched itself across a river and decided to stay. 2 levels, cars below, metro, and pedestrians above. Before this bridge, Porto relied on boats and temporary pontoons. The structure didn't just look impressive, it changed commerce, movement, daily rhythm. From the upper deck, the Douro glitters below. Wine cellars line the Gaia side. Porto's old town climbs upward in layered red stone, wind sharp, iron humming softly. Joe leaned over the railing for an immersive perspective. I held onto his jacket. The multivan may be oversized, but I'm not replacing him. Porto wears iron like jewelry, but it never forgets its function. Now we talk about Porto's obsession, Azulejos, blue and white tiles covering facades, churches, railway stations, not decoration, narrative architecture. The word comes from Arabic al-zulej, polished stone, introduced during Moorish influence and refined during Portugal's age of discoveries. And here's the detail most people miss. That blue pigment was imported cobalt. At one point, cobalt was worth more than gold in European markets. So when Porto dressed its buildings in blue, it wasn't decoration. It was deliberate. It was value made visible. We stepped into a traditional tile studio where artisans still hand-paint every piece. Steady hands, measured strokes, the kind of focus that turns pigment into permanence. Joe tried. He really tried. His tile now resembles a snowflake reconsidering its life choices. The artisan remained diplomatic. At São Bento Station, over 20,000 tiles depict battles, royal ceremonies, rural life. You don't just catch a train there. You stand inside porcelain history. Porto doesn't whisper its past. It preserves it, in wonderful shades of blue. Then we followed the Douro west. River meets Atlantic. Farol de Felgueiras stands on a stone pier where currents collide. On rough days, Atlantic waves hit the jetty with sprays reaching nearly 30 feet. 30 feet. Water doesn't politely lap here. It arrives with force. The foghorn sounds steady, guiding ships through waters that once launched explorers toward Africa, India, Brazil. Portugal's maritime empire began on coastlines like this. Joe stepped forward for authentic wave footage. The Atlantic humbled him, shoes soaked, van floor now suspiciously damp, multivan suddenly very justified. Porto teaches through experience, sometimes splashy ones. Then we climbed uphill to the gardens of the Palacio de Cristal. The original palace built here in 1865 was inspired by London's Great Exhibition. Iron and glass optimism at its finest. Though replaced, the gardens remain expansive and theatrical. Terraces overlooking the Douro, layered viewpoints, massive dome structure echoing industrial ambition, and peacocks. Actual peacocks roaming like they own shares in the property. I watched Joe attempted diplomacy. The peacock declined the meeting. I took photos. From the terrace, Porto softens. Bridge glowing, river bending, red rooftops cascading, iron below, green above, blue everywhere. And now, darlings, it's quiz time. Which material made Porto's iconic blue tiles historically so valuable? A. Marble dust. B. Imported cobalt. C. Silver oxide. D. Crushed sapphire. Comment A, B, C, or D below. Yes, there's a prize involved. Want to check your answer, see where you rank on the leaderboard, and find out where we're heading next? Head to quizzes.gamaflare.com. Drop your guess below. Share this with someone who thinks Porto is just pastel houses and vibes. It's not. It's iron, it's ocean, it's porcelain ambition. That night, back at Vinci Ponte de Ferro, the bridge glowed gold above the river, city humming softly below. Porto doesn't beg for attention. It holds its ground. Tomorrow, different skyline, different energy, and a story that shifts the mood entirely. Stay with us. You won't want to miss what comes next.
We have a winner, and I am not being chill about it. Someone just took that leaderboard apart like it was light practice. Moves were intentional. Timing was locked. Confidence, unbothered. Big congrats to our champion. You absolutely showed out. Your notification is about to land quicker than a live patch update. Keep an eye on your comments. We'll grab your details and get that prize moving your way. Smooth process, zero chaos. Didn't see your name this round? Don't switch tabs on us. This isn't a one-off highlight. It's an ongoing storyline, and the next chapter is about to drop. Fresh reset, clean board, new energy, so power up those fingers, because the next spotlight, it might land right on you. No hesitation, no slow reactions, no watching from the sidelines. Stay bold, stay sharp, stay locked in. Let's see who takes it next.